G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the 7-step changer. I'm pretty sure it's the Authentics line, Bumblebee. So I picked this guy up at the same time I picked up Optimus. And out of the 5 I got, which is him, Optimus, Elita, Grimlock, and Megatron, he apparently has the most steps. He also has one of the biggest issues I have found with these guys, and ironically, it's something we all have to deal with, especially with some figures. So I said in the last video I did about these guys that I find them as sort of a progression tool for my youngest nephew. I'm not keeping any of them. He's going to get them all, and considering how Transformer mad he's gotten, I find these are a nice step up from the ones he's got. So he's learning things in these that he hasn't come across yet. I hadn't even come across that at his age. So Optimus had a rotating waist and had a sliding mechanism. Bumblebee, sadly, has a clearance issue and has potential for ball joints to pop off. So, but he doesn't look too bad. You know, there is a few Bumblebees that are very much like this, very empty. There's nothing much here. He has some articulation, not much, but it doesn't look too bad. You know, it looks pretty good. More, I suppose, Beaver's Bumblebee than Bumblebee G1. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. All right, so let's dig down to what of his articulation. So head can't move, that's one solid piece. He's got a ball joint in his shoulder here, which gets you sort of 360, but then you start sliding against things and you start moving things. That's more for transformation. No hands or anything like that. He does have ball jointed legs, so it gets you that far and goes all the way back. There's no knees, there's no ankles or nothing. So he does actually stand pretty damn good. So there we go. All right, let's get down to transformation and then I'll start pointing out things. Now I'm thinking that by the time I give this to him, he's going to possibly have him broke within a few days. But we'll see what happens. So what we need to do, and there you go. I've popped that ball joint several times so far. So he's going to have fun trying to make sure that that stays plugged in. So you sort of need to rotate here and out. So it's just a matter of getting past that backpack for starters. So you need it sort of out here. Now this is where the clearance issue comes in. So you lift up the backpack, but these pieces here needed to be a little bit longer, realistically, to get it over the head. Now, these all have instructions. It tells you it just flips over, but there is a lot of non-clearance. So you're going to have to force a little bit. I like to put my thumb here, as it's doing, and it is going to rub against those horns. Like so, and then we slide that down. Right, and before we worry about this, like I said, I'm thinking that head's going to be busted, considering it's empty and it's just sitting on here. So I'm waiting for the day that either this is busted off or his head's broken off. All right, we're going to rotate our legs back like so. And I can't remember if there's a tabbing point. No, there's no tabbing point for the feet itself. But before we go all the way up, we need to get the arms in place. So you have a port here that'll go into, I think it's this tab here. See, like I said, this is progression. You tell me how many Authentics or toys of this scale have tabbing points. So yeah, so that comes down and get that under there and tab that in. And I won't lie, it tabs in very, very solidly. There's also a tab here that will go in here. So that's why we have to do that side first. We tab that in, or try to tab that in. I'm going to get the front in place and try to line that up. There we go. That all tabs in. That one's popped out. And then what we do is we bring these up, and there's 2 ports here that go into these 2 tabs. There is a lot of tabs. So just bring that up, and if things are where they're supposed to be, you may have to fiddle a little bit, and things are not lining up. Why are you not lining up? We'll get that one on there, and we'll try to, because you got to get the hands behind the legs as well. So that tab's in there, and there is Bumblebee in his vehicle mode. Now, I won't lie, I think this blue would have been nice on here, but that rear end reminds me more of Sunstreaker and Sideswipe. So he does roll very, very well. Very, very well. Nice toy. But the clearance in those tabs, that's rather surprising. As for articulation, we already did that. As for size comparison, there he is with Windblade. There we go. All right, let's get back to transformation, and this is where I'm going to probably start popping things off again. So what I want to do is just get his legs untabbed, just enough that I can get it down. His hands might be a little bit in the way, so I just got to fiddle with things and try not to pop things off. He's probably going to just pop it off left, right, and center. Come on, get out from under there. Come out from there. I think you're supposed to tab this in, the rear end in first, but I feel this is easier. Now, I'm going to try to get this off without untabbing everything, or without popping things off. Like I said, it's got a pretty solid tabbing point. So bring that out, bring that out. Now we're going to deal with clearance issues again. So we pull this as far as it goes. You and me are probably going to, if you yoink that hard enough, you will rip it out of its joints. And I have pulled that as far up as it will go. So I like to put my finger behind his head. Kids will be a whole different other story. And just try to get that backpack over. This is not long enough. Like I said, we have clearance issues. All right, so what we're going to do, and I'm going to try to do this without popping it. I'm going to rotate or roll up that arm, and the backpack of the front of the car will go behind the backpack. So up and behind. Then we can bring the legs down, and there he is back in his robot mode. I'd say not as complicated as one of the others, because I have transformed all these already. But the fact that these are easy to pop off, that has a clearance issue, which I'm assuming will eventually either break off or shear off part of his horns, is going to be quite expected. As for final size comparison, there he is with MP10. So there we go. Actually, not fully final size comparison. We got one more. So he's just probably a good little bit up Prime's knee. So there we go. And I do still have the other one next to me. So here he is with the Optimus. And Optimus is just a smidgen bit taller due to the way his hips and legs work. So there we go. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe or ring that bell. Leave me a comment. And apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.